Welcome to our channel Concept Builders by Neeraj Putadra. Do subscribe to our channel for latest videos. Hello friends, welcome back to today's session. So in the previous session on insolvency and bankruptcy code, we did about PPIRP. It is the new MSME pack that has come, pre-packed insolvency resolution process. So as committed on that day itself, I told that once the regulations also come for them, we will do the regulations part also in a video form. So one thing I would like to tell you, these regulations have been designed wonderfully because it only does not cater to MSME part. It also throws light on lot of other regulations which were not very clear for CIRP or any other procedures under IBC. So if you read through this entire text or if you go through this entire document what has been given, it has been made in a way that it is trying to solve the current problems which are already existing in CIRP as such. So it helps you to understand how they do this selection for a resolution plan, what are the ways in which it has to be evaluated, all the small details in which we generally end up getting confused or we don't know how to deal with it. Such kind of things have been answered in this particular regulation. So let's start with it. Prima facie regulation is for around 44 to 45 pages. Predominantly major part of the regulations is for the forms. There are around 12 forms which are there. And the form series starts with the word P in this case. Okay, so it's like P1, P2, P3 and goes till P12. So let's start. These regulations will be called as pre-packed regulations for insolvency and resolution process. These regulations shall come into force on the date of their publication in the official gazette. So it was published on 4th April 2021. The ordinance was passed and these were passed on 9th April 2021. Definitions are almost same. There are no new definitions what they have incorporated. Definitions have been kept almost in a similar terms what it was in the CIRP. So you do not need to go through the definitions. One thing what you can do is you can just compare if you find any major difference between any new definition. I did not find any new definition per se in this particular case. So let's start with the general protocol chapter 2 of the regulations. The first point is meeting and communication. The meeting required under regulation may be held either physically or electronic mode or in combination to both. All communications required under this regulation shall be made by electronic means as far as possible. So see, one thing we need to understand that IBC department, you take IBBI, you take all these departments are being very focused on electronic communication because with COVID in place, they do not want people to do physical meetings. They do not want people to interact and avoid social distancing and such kind of things. So here they've put it very clear that try to make as much as communication through electronic mode because it's more easier for you to save that kind of data also, and it is more easy for you to produce that data in the court of law if needed. What do you mean by essential supply? Essential supply is for a moratorium period. So essential supply shall mean electricity, water, telecommunication and internet, information technology services. To the extent these are not direct input to the output produced or supplied by the corporate debtor. What is the explanation? The explanation stands exactly same as it is in CIRP. Water supplied to a corporate debtor will be an essential supply for drinking and sanitization purposes and not for generation of hydroelectricity. Then comes a definition for extortionate credit transaction. A transaction shall be considered extortionate under subsection 2 of section 50 where the terms required the corporate debtor to make a exorbitant payment in respect of a credit provided or are unconscionable under the principles of law related to contract. Means if you have done anything unfair or you have made any payment which is on a unfair terms or conditions, those will be considered as extortionate credit transactions. Pre-packaged insolvency resolution process cost. For the purpose of subsection E of clause 23C of section 5, pre-packed insolvency resolution costs shall mean. So what all things it shall include, it talks about that. It shall include fees payable to the authorized representative under sub-regulation 5 of regulation 34, out-of-pocket expenses to the authorized representative for discharging of his functions under regulation 25, and any other cost directly relating to the process and approved by the committee. So आपका जो भी ऑथोराइज रिप्रेजेंटेटिव का फीस पेएबल है या फिर तो उनका जो आउट ऑफ पॉकेट एक्सपेंसेस पेएबल है and any other expenses which are directly attributable and approved by the committee, those will be part of pre-packed insolvency resolution process cost. Now let's start the chapter 3, which is about the all details about resolution professional. So who is eligible to be a resolution professional? Subject to consent in form PI. So here the form that you need to remember is your consent shall be given in form PI. An insolvency professional shall be eligible to be appointed as an interim resolution professional or a resolution professional as the case may be if he and all the partners and directors of the insolvency professional entity of which he is a partner or a director are independent of the corporate debtor. So one thing what you have to note that independence is of foremost importance in this case. So if you are a partner or you are a director in a IPE or you are individually practicing, you need to be completely independent from the corporate debtor. What does the explanation to this section says? A person shall be considered independent of the corporate debtor if he is eligible to be appointed as an independent director, he is not a related party to the corporate debtor, and he is not an employee or a proprietor or a partner of a firm of an auditor, secretarial auditor or a cost auditor of the corporate debtor, or of a legal or a consulting firm that has had any transaction with the corporate debtor amounting to 5% or more of the gross turnover of such firms in preceding 3 फाइनेंशियल ईयर्स. मतलब क्या हुआ इसका कि अगर आप किसी भी कॉर्पोरेट डेटर्स जिसके लिए आप अपना नाम नॉमिनेट कर रहे हो टू बिकम अ इंसॉल्वेंसी प्रोफेशनल, यू शुड नॉट बी auditor, secretarial auditor or a cost auditor for that corporate debtor for a period of 3 years before this time, or if you should not be a legal or a consulting firm for the corporate debtor if you have a टर्नओवर, आपका जो टर्नओवर है योर ग्रॉस टर्नओवर इज मोर देन 5%. इफ यू आर अर्निंग से फॉर एग्जांपल आप 100 रुपीज अर्न कर रहे हो एंड इस कॉर्पोरेट डेटर से योर फीस कलेक्टेड इज से फॉर एग्जांपल 10 रुपीज which is greater than 5%. So if this happens in previous 3 years, then you cannot be appointed as a resolution professional for the purpose of this particular section. A resolution professional who is a director or a partner of an insolvency professional entity shall be eligible to continue as a resolution professional in a process if insolvency professional entity or the partner or the director of such entity represents any stakeholder in the same process. Okay, so I will read this once again because it's little important. A resolution professional who is a director or a partner of a insolvency professional entity shall be ineligible. क्या होगा, वो ineligible हो जाएगा to continue as a resolution professional in the process if during the process any of the partner or director of such IPE represents any of the stakeholder in the same process. अगर आप किसी भी stakeholder को represent करते हो in the process, मतलब if you are representing a class of creditors or you are representing the corporate debtor for some other purposes, then the resolution professional, if he is a director or a partner of that same IPE, he shall be ineligible to continue as a resolution professional. Point number 8, fees for resolution professional. Where the corporate debtor fails to file an application or application for initiation of the process is rejected, the fees payable to the resolution professional for performing the duties under section 3 of 54B shall be borne by corporate debtor. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि अगर उसने एप्लीकेशन फाइल नहीं की, मतलब ही डिड नॉट फाइल द एप्लीकेशन, ही पास द रेजोल्यूशन, उसने अपॉइंट करवा लिया एफसी के द्वारा, फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर के द्वारा, ही हैज अपॉइंटेड अ रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल, बट ही हैज येट नॉट फाइल्ड और ही हैज नॉट फाइल्ड द एंटायर एप्लीकेशन ऑल टुगेदर. मतलब उसने पीपीआईआरपी का जो उसको एप्लीकेशन फाइल करना चाहिए था आफ्टर द एफसीज अप्रूवल, ही हैज नॉट फाइल्ड, or the application for initiation of the process is rejected. मतलब एजुकेटिंग अथॉरिटी ने उस पर्टिकुलर एप्लीकेशन को रिजेक्ट कर दिया, तो इन दैट पर्टिकुलर टाइम फ्रेम अगर कोई आरपी को अपॉइंट किया था आपने, तो उसका जो भी फीस होगा दैट विल बी बोर्न बाय कॉर्पोरेट डेटर डायरेक्टली. The corporate debtor shall maintain a separate bank account with such amount as may be advised by the committee from time to time and subject to provision of clause 23C of the section 5. Such amount shall be operated by the resolution professional to meet his fees and expenses incurred by him for conducting the process. So, what does this say is that every corporate debtor will have to maintain a separate bank account in which he shall keep on putting some sum of money which will be approved by committee of creditor, and that money shall be used for payment of the fees of resolution professional and other similar kind of expenses which the resolution professional has to do. Section 9 आते हैं, access to the books. The resolution professional may access the books of accounts, records and any other documents to the extent relevant for discharging his duties under the code of the corporate debtor held with. So he can access the books and records or any other documents for discharging and duty. ये documents किसके पास हो सकती है? ये डॉक्यूमेंट्स हो सकती है मेंबर्स, प्रमोटर्स, पार्टनर्स, डायरेक्टर्स एंड जॉइंट वेंचर पार्टनर ऑफ द कॉर्पोरेट डेटर, प्रोफेशनल्स एंड एडवाइजर एंगेज बाय द कॉर्पोरेट डेटर, डिपॉजिटरीज ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट डेटर्स, registers that record the ownership of the asset and contractual counterparties of the corporate debtors. So if any documents are with this set of people, the resolution professional can go ahead and access those documents and try to discharge his duty to the best possible way. Section 10 आते हैं, appointment of the professional. Who shall be appointing, what professionals can the resolution professional apply? So this is talking about the external professionals that RP can appoint. The resolution professional may appoint a professional under clause E of subsection 3 of the 54F. 54F is a section that allows a resolution professional to appoint the professionals, provided that the following person shall not be appointed. So this is a negative clause. It has given a list of the people who cannot be appointed. A person who is not registered with the regulator of the profession concerned. मतलब अगर आपको कोई चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट को अपॉइंट करना है एंड इफ इज नॉट रजिस्टर्ड विद आईसीआई, यू कैन नॉट अपॉइंट हिम. अ रिलेटेड पार्टी ऑफ द कॉर्पोरेट डेटर, an auditor of the corporate debtor at any time during 5 years preceding the pre-package insolvency commencement date. So if your company or your partnership firm is an auditor of a corporate debtor, the resolution professional shall not be eligible to appoint you for any other purposes. A partner or director of insolvency professional entity of which the resolution professional is a partner or a director, because the minute if he does this, then he will become ineligible. So if he appoints or if the partner or the director of the IPE is appointed for some other professional services or they become representative of any other stakeholder, then the resolution professional shall become ineligible and he will have to vacate his position. A relative of resolution professional or of a partner or a director of IPE of which resolution professional is partner or director. मतलब आपका पार्टनर अगर आप हो तो आपके पार्टनर डायरेक्टर्स भी नहीं बन सकते और उनके रिलेटिव्स भी नहीं आप अपॉइंट कर सकते. Disclosure of cost. A resolution professional shall make disclosure at times of his appointment and thereafter in accordance with the code of conduct as set out in the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India Insolvency Professional Regulation 2016. So according to these regulations, they shall disclose all the requirements of the cost. The resolution professional shall disclose item-wise process cost in such manner as may be required by the board. Preservation of records. The resolution professional shall preserve a physical as well as electronic copy of the records relating to the process of corporate debtor as per the record retention schedule as may be required by board in constitution with insolvency professional agencies. So whatever the board requires you to do for in terms of preservation, you will have to preserve the record both in terms of electronic or the physical record, whatever there. As we discussed in the start also, that board is requesting all of us to try to communicate as much as possible in electronic form so that the paperwork can be minimum and preservation can also be minimum. Filing of reports and forms. The resolution applicant shall file such forms along with the enclosures thereto on the electronic platform as may be required by board in constitution with the IPA. So आपका whatever IPA you belong to, it can be ICAI, ICSI or ICMI, whatever IPA you belong to, in constitution to that whatever protocol has been set, you shall have to file the reports in electronic form in their platform and IBBI's platform. Now let's come to the chapter 4, that is initiation of process. Approval by financial creditor. What all approvals are to be taken by financial creditor? For the purpose of clause E of subsection 2 and subsection 3 of section 54A, the applicant shall convey a meeting of financial creditor who are not related parties of the corporate debtor. What is section 54A subsection E 2 and 3? This talks about appointment of IP. So as we read in the previous class also that the IP needs to appointed by the financial creditor even before the application for PPIRP has been approved. So this process has to happen parallelly by the financial creditor. So now we are talking about the protocol that has to be followed to comply with this section. The notice for the meeting under sub-regulation 1 shall be served to the financial creditors who are not the related party of the corporate debtor at least 5 days before the date of meeting unless a shorter notice has been agreed by all of them. Okay, so please note that shorter notice has to be agreed by all of them and time period given for that notice is 5 days. And the notice shall be given to the financial creditors who are not the related party of the corporate debtor. The notice of the meeting under this regulation shall include date, time, venue of the meeting and enclose a list of creditor along with the amount due to them in form P2. So who is going to give you the list of creditor in the case of PPIRP? The list of creditor is supposed to be given by the corporate debtor himself on as the they are supposed to disclose the entire list of creditors to both financial creditors as well as the IP on day 0, and that has to be annexed with the notice of the meeting also. The financial creditor who are not related party of the corporate debtor and has not less than 10% of the value of the total financial debt of such creditors may propose, okay, it says it may propose name of the insolvency professional for the purpose of clause E of subsection 2 of 54A. So it says that corporate debtor का जो फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स है जो रिलेटेड पार्टी नहीं है उसमें भी जिनका नॉट लेस देन 10% है, दैट मीन्स जिन क्रेडिटर्स का शेयर होल्डिंग मोर देन 10% है, दे कैन प्रपोज अ नेम, दे मे प्रपोज अ नेम. The approval of the term of appointment of the resolution professional under clause E of subsection 2 of 54A shall be done in form P3. Okay, so here in this particular clause you will learn about two forms, that is form 2 in which the notice has to be given and approval of the terms and condition and the appointment will be in form P3. The terms of appointment of resolution professional under the regulation shall include fees payable to him for performing the duties under section 54B. So 54B talks about all the various duties and that he is supposed to discharge. Fees payable to him and the expenses to be incurred by him for conducting the process, and fees payable by him and expenses to be incurred by him in the case of management of the company of the corporate debtor is vested in him under section 54J. So you can break the fees into three components. One is for his discharging of his duties, what fees is going to be paid. For conducting the entire process, what fees he is going to be paid. And in case if he is going to step in the shoes of management under section 54J, then what fees he shall be paid. You will have to give a proper breakup of all the three. The approval of filing of the application under subsection 3 of 54A shall be in form of P4. For initiating the what is the this approval? This approval is in the for the initiating of the PPIRP process. Where the corporate debtor has no financial debt or where all the financial creditors are related parties, The applicant shall convey the meeting of operational creditors who are not related parties of the corporate debtor, and provision of regulation sub-regulation 1 and 7 shall apply as is. So ये सारे, अगर आपका फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर नहीं है तो you have to pick the list of operational creditors who are not related party to you, and exactly same protocol shall apply for approval of the IRP. अब who in CIRP process it was about the top 18 operational creditors. यहाँ पे क्या है, we will learn when we go below. There is one specific section on COC. It talks about how many creditors of operational in nature you have to appoint for COC, but it is not 18. That much I am giving you a clarity. Choice of authorized representative. On examination of Form P2, the resolution professional shall assess the classes of creditor if any. So what was Form P2? The Form P2 was the notice of the meeting under which the regulation shall indicate the date, time and venue of the meeting and enclose the list of creditors. So basis this list of creditor, the resolution applicant shall try to bifurcate if there are any class of creditors, agar koi hai to. For representation of class of creditors in a class ascertained under sub-regulation 1, in the committee identify 3 professionals who are not relative or related party to the applicant or resolution professional, having their addresses as registered with board in the state or the union territory as the case may be, which has the highest number of creditors in the class as per their address in the record of the corporate debtor. So यहाँ पे you have to take care of two things. What has been clarified by IBBI also, that it should not be a relative or the related party. That is the normal thing. Second thing what you have to check is you have to appoint the 3 professionals who shall be in the location where maximum amount of creditors are existing. So आपको address check करने पड़ेंगे. Say for example your maximum amount of creditors are existing in Gujarat or in Ahmedabad. So in that case you will have to appoint your IPs, the 3 IPs that you have to appoint from that particular region only, provided that where such state or union territory does not have adequate number of insolvency professional, the insolvency professional having address in the nearby state or union territory shall be considered. Okay, so what will happen, say for example you are doing a insolvency process in a city of Surat, and in Surat there are not many, in Gujarat, state of Gujarat there are not many resolution professionals. So in that case you can select the resolution professional from the nearby states of Gujarat. That is, you can select somebody from Punjab or somebody from Rajasthan or somebody from Maharashtra. Okay, that is how you will have to select. He is eligible to be appointed under regulation 7. Regulation 7 we just read upstairs. What does it says? And willing to act as an authorized representative of the creditor in that plan. So willingness is very important in this case. Third point is obtain the consent of insolvency professional identify under sub-regulation 2 to act as an authorized representative of the creditor in class in form P5. So आपको P5 में उनका consent लेना पड़ेगा, because without consent he is not willing, correct? अगर वो willing होगा तो consent देगा. So you have to make sure you take the consent of them. Seek choice of the creditors in the class of an insolvency professional who have consented under sub-regulation 3, provided that the creditor shall communicate their choice of resolution professional within 3 days. So you can even go ahead and आपके पास जो लिस्ट बना है जो जिन्होंने कंसेंट किया है वो लिस्ट को आप क्रेडिटर्स को दे दीजिए. Creditors can seek a choice out of those who have consented, but they have to consent. They have to give the choice in writing within 3 days to the RP. Select the insolvency professional who is the choice of the highest number of creditors in the class to act as an authorized representative of the creditors of that respective class. So who has got the maximum amount of nomination, he will be selected. Inform the name of insolvency professional selected under sub-regulation 5 along with his consent in form P5 to the applicant. Okay, applicant is the corporate debtor. Declarations. The declaration under clause F of subsection 2 of section 54A shall be made in form P6. So what is this declaration? As we have studied in the previous class, this declaration is about approval by the majority of directors for going for PPIRP process. The declaration made under clause C of subsection 3 of section 54C shall be made in form P7. What is this declaration of P7? Declaration of P7 is PUFE transactions, the preferentials and extraordinary transactions that are there. Report of resolution professionals. The report under clause A of subsection 1 of 54B shall be prepared in form P8. So what is this report? As we had read in the previous class, the RP has to give a compliance report that the corporate debtor has complied with section 54A. That is, there is a proper resolution that has been passed, FC approval has been taken, and the declaration from the majority shareholders or the has been taken. Information to be furnished by the applicant. For the purpose of clause D of subsection 3 of 54C, the applicant shall furnish. क्या क्या details furnish करेगा? 54C talks about what all details the corporate debtor has to furnish. He has to furnish the audited financials, provisional financials for the current financial year, and Form 5 submitted by the authorized representative selected under Regulation 5. So, अगर आपका say for example this process is starting on 28 Feb 2021, so you will get a audited financial as on 31 March 2020 and a provisional financial as on 28 to 2021. So these both documents plus Form P5 the corporate debtor has to submit to the resolution professional. Now comes the public announcement and the claim. So in this case, public announcement is little bit different because here the claims are not supposed to be given by the creditors. The claim list is to be given by the corporate debtor himself. So public announcement here is the resolution professional shall make a public announcement within 2 days of commencement of this process. The public announcement referred to this section shall be in Form 9 sent to every creditor listed in Form P2. So P2 is submitted by the corporate debtor containing the list of creditors. That is the meeting वाला form जो था ये वो है. Form 9 is a separate form for the announcement sent to the information utility and published on the website if any of the corporate debtor and the board. So before in CIRP we had a process whereby you had to give into the two newspapers of the one in English and one in vernacular language of the state in which the corporate debtor or the maximum amount of creditors used to exist. This particular process has been removed because in the case of PPIRP, the claim list is submitted by the corporate debtor. So here you just need to make an announcement in Form P and you need Form 9 and you have to send a letter communication to all the creditors of in the Form P2. Now comes the list of claims. The corporate debtor shall submit the list of claim under subsection 1 of section 54G in Form P10 to the resolution professional. Based on the record of the corporate debtor and other relevant material available to the corporate to the record, the resolution professional shall confirm the details received in P10. So he cannot blindly believe in the list what they have given. He has to go ahead and verify with the relevant records available and check whether what the list the corporate debtor has given is correct or not. The resolution professional shall inform every creditor regarding the claim as confirmed by him and seek objections if any. So that how he is informing him that he is sending it to the every creditors listed in P2, he is informing it through public announcement directly. A creditor may submit objection along with the supporting documents to the resolution professional within 7 days of the receipt of communication under sub-regulations. If there is any objection he receives, then he will have to close that resolution within the 7 days. Okay, with the supporting documents, he has to close it within the 7 days. मतलब उसको 7 दिन के अंदर the creditor has to respond. The resolution professional may call for such other evidences or clarification as deemed fit from the creditor for substantiating the whole or part of the claim. मतलब अगर आपको कहीं एज अ आईपी कहीं पे भी कंफ्यूजन है, you are not sure, then you can ask for additional information from the creditors directly. The resolution professional shall consider every objection received under subclause 4 and modify the claim of creditors accordingly if required. A creditor shall update its claim as and when the claim is satisfied partly or fully from any source in any manner after the prepacked insolvency commencement date. So अगर आफ्टर द कमेंसमेंट डेट कहीं से भी कॉर्पोरेट डेटर ने उसको कोई पेमेंट की है या फिर तो कोई एक्स्ट्रा मटेरियल सप्लाई किया है, कुछ भी हुआ है, तो वो जो अपडेट्स होंगे दैट कॉर्पोरेट डेटर विल हैव टू द क्रेडिटर शैल हैव टू अपडेट दैट टू द रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल. The resolution professional shall maintain the list of claims in Form P10 and update it as and when required. So, whenever he gets an update, he will update the Form P10. Form P10 shall be available for inspection by the creditors, members, directors, and the regulators of the corporate debtors. It shall be displayed in the website of the corporate debtor, if any, filed with the board on electronic platform, and presented in the meeting of committee as and when updated. So whenever if there is a meeting held between two dates and there is an update in the list of creditors, then the new list of or the fresh list of creditor has to be produced in front of the committee of creditors. Determination of amount of claim, section 21. Where the amount of claim of a creditor is not precise due to any contingency or any reason, the resolution applicant shall make the best estimate. He will have to do a best estimate of the amount of the claim based on the information available to him. So अगर आप कहीं पे भी कोई क्रेडिटर का अमाउंट ठीक से एसेस नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, तो you have to put your best estimate with the available information to you. You cannot estimate more than the information that has been available to you, but with this information you have to give your best to estimate the amount. The resolution professional shall revise the amount of the claim confirmed, including the estimate of the claim made under Regulation 1 as soon as the practicable when he comes across the additional information warranty to revision. So यहाँ पे मेरे पास जितना इन्फॉर्मेशन था, से फॉर एग्जांपल देयर वाज अ क्रेडिटर, उसका मेरा ₹100 आ रहा था पेबल, एंड बाद में मेरे को कोई और इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलती है जिससे उसका क्लेम रिवाइज होकर 120 हो जाता है, देन आई विल हैव टू अपडेट माय लिस्ट ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स, दैट इज माय फॉर्म P10, एंड आई विल हैव टू अपडेट द details in the P10 also. Debts in foreign currency. The claim is denominated in the foreign currency shall be valued in Indian currency at the official exchange rate as on the pre-packed insolvency commencement date. Explanation दिया हुआ है. Official exchange rate is the reference rate published by the RBI of India or डिवर्ड विद सच रेफरेंस रेट. जो आरबीआई ने जो रेट प्रिस्क्राइब किए एज ऑन द डेट ऑफ द कमेंसमेंट, वो डेट लेकर आपको चलना है फॉरेन करेंसी के लिए. सो आपको आरबीआई की साइट पे वो मिल जाएगा. ट्रांसफर ऑफ ड्यूज टू क्रेडिटर्स. व्हेन अ क्रेडिटर असाइंस और ट्रांसफर्स द ड्यू टू सच क्रेडिटर्स टू any other person during the process period, both parties shall provide the resolution professional the terms of such assignment or transfer and the identity of the assignee or transferee for updation under subsection 8 of regulation 20. So say for example, I am an operational creditor, I am Mr. A and I am the operational creditor. I transfer my creditor to a FC or to another OC or to any third person. Okay, in that circumstances I will have to give this report with the terms and condition which I have agreed with either of these guys to the resolution professional, giving the identity of the person to whom I have transferred or assigned my debt. Chapter number 6, Committee of Creditors. So this is very interesting because it is very different from the it's little bit different, not very different, it's little bit different from the CIRP process. The committee of creditors can only be in a class where the corporate debtor has only creditors in a class and no other financial creditors who are not related party of the corporate debtor. The committee shall consist of only authorized representative. So we read earlier that if there are creditors in class, that is real estate के creditors हो गए, people like them, then the authorized representatives will be appointed for them. So now if authorized representative have been appointed and the company does not have any other financial creditors apart from the creditors in class, then those authorized representatives will become the part of committee of creditors. Committee with only operational creditors. So this is a change what you will see. When the corporate debtor has no financial debt or all the financial creditor are related party, the committee shall consist of operational creditors being not related to the corporate debtor as under. So here it is C. There in CIRP process we had 18 largest. Here it is 10 largest operational creditors by value. And if number of operational creditor is less than 10, the committee shall consist of all the operational creditors. One representative elected by all the workmen and one representative elected by all the employees of the company. A member of committee formed under the regulation shall have the voting rights in proportion to the debts due to such creditors or the debt represented by such representative as the case may be. So अब यहाँ पे टोटल डेट का मतलब क्या बोला है? टोटल डेट का मतलब बोला है एग्रीगेट ऑफ योर ऑपरेशनल क्रेडिटर्स प्लस योर एम्प्लॉयज क्रेडिटर्स प्लस योर वर्कमैन क्रेडिटर्स. ओके, सो आपका ये जो इसका ड्यूज होगा उसका जो समेशन होगा दैट विल बी द पार्ट ऑफ योर टोटल डेट and basis their share they will have the voting right. The committee formed under accordance with regulation 24 or 25 as the case may be, and its members shall have same right and power and duties and the obligation as the committee comprising of financial creditors and its member. Change in committee. Any change in composition of the committee of the creditor shall be intimated to all the members of the committee within 2 days of such change. Because see what will happen, your list of creditors can keep changing. So basis that if the committee changes, then you have to inform the entire committee within 2 days of such change. Chapter 7, meeting of the committee. So this is exactly similar to CIRP process, but I will just go through it once. Meeting of the committee. A resolution professional shall convey a meeting of the committee as and when he considers necessary. A resolution professional shall convey a meeting if the request to the effect has been made by members of the committee representing 33%. So कब करेगा मीटिंग? जब आरपी को खुद लगता है कोई ऐसा मैटर हैज टू बी डिस्कस्ड एंड फॉर विच मीटिंग इज नीडेड, or if the 33% of the COC have requested to conduct a meeting, that is the time he shall conduct a meeting of committee. Notice of the meeting. Notice of the meeting has to be given not less than 3 days. 3 दिन का नोटिस देना है to every participant at the address provided to the resolution professional by the creditors. The committee may reduce a notice of the period of 3 days to such other period of not less than 24 hours as it deems fits, provided that the committee may reduce the period of such other period not less than 48 hours if it is any authorized representative. मतलब नॉर्मल सर्कमस्टेंसेस, इफ एवरीथिंग इज नॉर्मल, अगर कंपनी में कोई चेंज नहीं करता तो यू हैव अ पीरियड ऑफ 3 days. If you do not have any creditors in class, then you can reduce it to period of 24 hours. If you have creditors in class, then your period shall be 48 hours. You can reduce maximum to this. Okay. Service of notice. A notice can be sent to the participant through email as a text or as an attachment to the email or as a notification providing a electronic link or uniform resource locator URL for accessing the notice. मतलब आप ईमेल में बॉडी पे लिख के भेज सकते हैं, ईमेल पे एक अटैचमेंट पीडीएफ की तरह भेज सकते हैं, या फिर तो ईमेल में कोई लिंक दे सकते हैं, या फिर तो कोई यूआरएल दे सकते हैं जहां से वो नोटिस को एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. The subject line of email shall be state the name of the corporate debtor, the place if any, the time and the date on which the meeting is scheduled. Place if any क्यों लिखा हुआ है? क्योंकि that is for the electronic meetings what are going to get conducted. When the notice is sent in the form of a non-editable attachment to an email, such attachment shall be in the form of portable document format, that is a PDF format, or in a non-editable format with a link or a instruction for the recipient to download the relevant version of software. So अगर आपने कोई ऐसी अटैचमेंट भेजी है जो कोई पर्टिकुलर सॉफ्टवेयर से खुलती है या वैसा कुछ है, तो यू विल हैव टू गिव द इंस्ट्रक्शंस आल्सो कि आपका वो डॉक्यूमेंट कैसा सॉफ्टवेयर से खुलेगा एंड व्हाट इज द प्रोसेस फॉर दैट. When the notice or notification is availability of the notice are sent by the email, the resolution professional shall ensure that it uses a system which provides the confirmation of the total number of recipients emailed and a record of each participant whom the notice has been sent and a copy of which record and any notice of any failed transmission and subsequent resending can be retained as proof of sending. Matlab you have to use such a platform which gives you the scope that you can record the details of number of participants to whom you have sent the emails. If there are some participants whose email ID is wrong or it is not working now, there should be a mechanism by which you get a failure email and you have an option to resend the email to the correct email ID. So you should send your email from such a platform only, so that you can maintain such records for your purposes. The obligation of the resolution professional shall be satisfied where he transmits the email, and he shall not be responsible for failure in transmission beyond his control. See, resolution professional can check the details what are submitted to him. He cannot see the spelling is right, spelling is wrong, all those things out of his control. So he can just use the email address provided by the creditors and he can send it to him. He cannot do much beyond his control. His role is to send and keep the record of the details of sent mails and the email IDs to which mail has not reached or it has bounced back. The notice made available on electronic link or uniform resource locator shall be readable, and recipient should be able to retain the copy of the resolution process. Professional should give a complete uniform resource locator or the address of the website and full details of how to access the documents. So if you are giving a URL, you should give the all the details of the URL, that how you have to go to the URL, how you can download from that URL, and that information should be downloadable from the URL also. If the participant fails to provide or update the relevant email address to the resolution professional, the non-receipt of such notice by such participant of any meeting shall not be invalidate the decisions taken in the meeting. आपने email address गलत दिया है, आपने उसको करेक्ट नहीं करवाया, तो बेचारे रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल ने जो मेहनत करके मीटिंग कंडक्ट की है उसके कोई भी डिसीजंस को आप खारिज नहीं कर पाएंगे. इट इज योर मिस्टेक दैट यू हैव नॉट करेक्टेड योर email addresses. Content of the notice of the meeting. The notice shall inform the participants of the venue, the time and the date of the meeting, and of the options available to them to participate through video conference or audio and visual means, and shall also provide all the necessary information to enable participant through video conferencing or other audio visual means. So you have to give all possible audio visual means for the participants to participate in the meeting. The notice of meeting shall provide that the participants may attend and vote in the meeting either in person or through a representative who is not a related party of the corporator. So if I am not attending, I can nominate a representative to appoint on my behalf, but that person should not be a related party of the corporator. Provided that the such participation shall inform the resolution professional in advance of the meeting of the identity of the representative who will be attending and voting on the behalf of such creditor. The notice of the meeting shall contain the following. क्या क्या contain करेगा? List of the matter of the to be discussed in the meeting, list of issue to be voted upon in the meeting, copies of all the documents and relevant matters to be discussed and issues to be voted in the meeting. So आपके जो भी इश्यूज है वो डिस्कस करने हैं उसका डिटेल्स, आपका जो भी इश्यूज है जिसके ऊपर वोट करना है उसका डिटेल्स, एंड उसको रिलेटेड जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स भी होंगे वो भी आप मीटिंग के मेल के साथ या फिर जो नोटिस है उसके साथ अटैच करेंगे. Notice of the meeting shall state the process and the manner for voting by electronic means and time schedule, including the time during which the votes may be cast. So opening and closing of votes का भी time आप दे सकते हैं. Provide the login IDs and the details of the facility for generating password and for keeping the security of casting the vote, and provide contact detail of the person who will address the queries connected with the electronic voting. So आपको ये हर बार याद रखना है कि everybody is not tech savvy person. There will be lot of creators who might not understand the technology as much as a normal other somebody else can understand. So you will have to give a nomination of one person कि अगर किसी को कोई query होती है, somebody is unable to download a video link, somebody is unable to download Zoom by which you are doing the conference, or somebody is unable to download the voting mechanism. where he has to go and log in and do the voting. So you should nominate a person who shall help that person if that person is in a trouble of doing that work. So guys, video might get little longer, so please wait and listen to the entire video, because last portion of of this regulation is the most interesting, because it talks about how the resolution plans will be approved. So it's a very elaborative process has been given into it. So please go through the video till the end. Quorum. A meeting of the committee shall quorate if members of the committee representing at least 33% are present either through video conferencing or audio or visual means. So however 33% voting is supposed to be there. अगर कोई कारण से आपका मीटिंग नहीं हो पाता बिकॉज ऑफ द कोरम, बिकॉज ऑफ द वांट ऑफ कोरम, इफ द मीटिंग इज adjourned, then without any reason given the meeting will be transferred to the exactly same date and time on the next day. Okay, so अगर और कुछ पहले से डिसाइडेड नहीं है, if it is not previously decided, the meeting shall automatically stand adjourned on the same time and place at the next day. In the event of the committee is adjourned in accordance with the sub-regulation 2, the adjourned meeting shall curate with the number of committee attending the meeting. मतलब आपका पहला मीटिंग आपने कंडक्ट किया था 1 फरवरी 2021, जहां पे कोरम एग्जिस्ट नहीं किया, तो आपका मीटिंग ऑटोमेटिकली adjourn हो जाएगा 2 फरवरी 2021. 2 फरवरी का मीटिंग जितने लोग प्रेजेंट है वहां पे उतने लोगों के साथ साथ कंडक्ट हो जाएगा, वहां पे आप कोरम नहीं देखोगे. Point 32, participation through video conference. The notice conveying the meeting of the committee shall provide the participant an option to attend the meeting through video conferencing or other audio and visual means. The resolution professional shall make necessary arrangement to ensure uninterrupted and clear video and audio transmission. The resolution professional shall take due and responsible care to safeguard the integrity of the meeting by ensuring sufficient security and identification procedures to ensure ability for proper video conferencing or audio conferencing and video equipments or the facilities for providing transmission of communication for effective participation of participants, to record proceedings and prepare the minutes of the meeting, to store and safeguard the minutes and the physical recording of the meetings, to ensure that no person other than the intended person attendance or has access to the proceeding of the meeting through video conferencing or other audio visual means. So आपको एज अ आईपी ये ध्यान रखना है कि आप जो भी मीडियम यूज कर रहे हैं that is properly secured, that is only used by the person who is supposed to use it, and you should have an adequate protocol to check that only those members are attending the meeting who are supposed to attend the meeting and not any other person. So you should have such kind of protocols in place to make sure that these compliances are taken care. Where a meeting is conducted through video conferencing or audio conferencing means the scheduled venue of the meeting as set forth in the notice convening the meeting, which shall be in India, shall be deemed to be place of the said meeting, and all the recording of the proceeding of meeting shall be deemed to be at such place. This is a generic clause which is there in almost all the places where video conferencing is there. It says that now it will be a part of your it will be part of your it will be considered as a part of India if you are doing a video conferencing meeting. Conduct of meeting. The resolution professional shall act as the chairman of the meeting of the committee. The committee of the meeting, the commencement of the meeting, the resolution professional shall take a roll call of every participant attending the meeting at the venue or the participation through video conferencing or audio conferencing. क्या लेगा अटेंडेंस की तरह? He will take his or her name, whether he or she is attending in the capacity of the member of the committee or any other participant, whether he or she is representing a number of group of members, the location from where he or she is participating, that he or she has received agenda of all the relevant material for the meeting, and that there no other than him is attending the meeting. So he has to take this roll call. The resolution professional shall ensure that the required quorum is present throughout the meeting. So he has to keep checking the record that whether the entire quorum is maintained or not. From the commencement of the meeting till the conclusion, no person other than the participant and any other person whose presence is required by the resolution professional shall be allowed to access to the place where the meeting is held or to the video conferencing or the other audio visual facilities. So अगर आपने कहीं पे आपका मीटिंग किया है तो उस मीटिंग रूम में और कोई थर्ड पार्टी घुस नहीं सकता जो रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल ने अप्रूव नहीं किया है। और अगर आप किसी वीडियो चैनल के थ्रू कर रहे हैं या फिर तो कोई ऑडियो चैनल के थ्रू कर रहे हैं तो रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल हैज टू टेक केयर दैट नो अदर पर्सन अपार्ट फ्रॉम द पार्टिसिपेंट or any person whose presence is required by the resolution professional is attending such meeting. Committee of raters in a class. The resolution professional shall provide the list of raters in each class of the representative authorized within 3 days of commencement of process. The resolution professional shall provide an updated list of raters in each class to represent the authorized representative as and when the list gets updated. Okay. सो इसमें क्या दिया हुआ है कि अगर आपके क्लास में 10 से 100 मेंबर्स हैं तो उसके लिए जो आईपी अपॉइंट होगा उसका फीस होगा सिटिंग फीस 15,000। अगर 101 से 1000 मेंबर्स है क्लास में तो आपका फीस होगा 20,000। अगर मोर देन 1000 मेंबर्स है तो फीस होगा आपका सिटिंग फीस 25,000। The resolution professional shall provide electronic means of communication between authorized representative and the class of operator. So this task is also supposed to be done by the resolution professional. The voting share of the creditors in the class shall be in the proportion to the financial debt, including the interest at the rate of 8% per annum, unless a different rate has been agreed between the parties. The authorized representative shall circulate the agenda to the creditors in the class and may seek their primary views on any item in the agenda to enable him to effectively participate in the meeting of creditors. And that is the reason 24 hours extra are given where there is a class of creditors involved. Provided that the creditor shall have time window of at least 12 hours to submit their primary views and the said window opens at least 24 hours after the authorized representative seeks the views. Provided further that preliminary views shall not be considered as voting instructions by the creditors. View are just view, the voting instructions can be different from the preliminary views also. The voting of committee. Any section requiring approval of the committee shall be considered in the मीटिंग ऑफ द कमिटी। एनी एक्शन रिक्वायरिंग अप्रूवल, जो भी कोई ऐसा एक्शन है जहां पे अप्रूवल रिक्वायर्ड है वहां पे आपको मीटिंग का वोट करवाना पड़ेगा। द रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल शैल टेक अ वोट ऑफ मेंबर of the committee present in the meeting at the time listed for voting after discussion of the same। तो पहले डिस्कशन होगा एंड उसके बाद उस पर वोटिंग होगी। एट द conclusion of a vote at the meeting, the resolution professional shall announce the decision taken by the members present in the meeting on the items along with the names of the member of the committee who voted for or against the decision or abstained from voting। So आपका decision आ गया, उसके बाद the IP will announce what is the decision and who have given the vote in favor or against or who has not given the vote at all। The resolution professional shall circulate the meetings of minutes by electronic means to all the members of the committee and authorized representative within 24 hours of the conclusion of the meeting. Seek a vote of the members who did not vote at the meeting on the matters listed for voting by electronic voting system in accordance with regulation 37, where the voting shall be kept open for at least 24 hours after circulation of the meeting। So you have to keep the voting open after 24 hours after circulation of the meetings। The authorized representative shall circulate the minutes of the meeting received under subsection 4 to the creditors in a class and announce the voting window at least 24 hours before the window opens for the voting instructions and keep the voting windows open for at least 12 hours। तो एक चीज याद रखिएगा, द अथोराइज्ड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी खाली फैसिलिटेशन का होता है। he cannot be held responsible कि the creditors has not given the list the claims or he is not responding, वो सब उसका responsibility नहीं है। उसका responsibility has to just facilitate between the IP and the class of creditors। he will not be held responsible if the class of creditors are not submitting the documents and all those things। The voting of authorized representative. The authorized representative, if any, shall cast his vote in respect of each financial creditors or on behalf of all the financial creditor he represents in accordance with the provision of subsection 3 or subsection 3A of 25A, that is as per the uh, debt that financial creditors holds. The voting through electronic means. This is important because nowadays everything happens in an electronic way, so it is important for us to learn how to conduct such electronic voting. The resolution professional shall provide each member of the committee the means to exercise its vote for either electronic means or through electronic voting system in accordance with the provisions of the regulations. So what is the explanation? For the purpose of this resolution, the expression of voting by electronic means or voting electronic voting system means a secured system based process of displaying of the electronic ballot, record of the votes of the members of the committee, and the number of votes polled in favor or against of such that the voting can be exercised by electronic means gets registered and counted in an electric registry for the purpose of cyber security. The expression secured system का मतलब क्या होता है? Means the computer hardware, software and the procedure that are responsible for security of unauthorized access, मतलब कोई unauthorized access नहीं होना चाहिए. Provide the reasonable level of reliability and correct operations and are in reasonability suited to perform the intended functions and adhere the generally accepted security protocol. मतलब ऐसा कोई सिस्टम नहीं डालना चाहिए जो 10 में से 9 जन को समझ ही नहीं आएगा. सो इट इज सेड दैट योर सिस्टम शुड बी सिक्योर्ड एंड इट शुड बी सच अ सिस्टम दैट पीपल कैन बी एबल टू यूज इट. Okay, at the end of voting period, the voting portal shall be fourth be blocked. It should have a blocking feature also. At the conclusion of the vote held under the regulation, the resolution professional shall announce and make a written record of the summary of the decision taken on the relevant agenda and the items with the name of the members of the committee who have voted for or against or abstained from voting. The resolution professional shall circulate a copy of the record made under sub-regulation 3 to all the participants by electronic means within 24 hours of conclusion of voting. अब आते हैं चैप्टर नंबर 8, वैल्यूएशन एंड इंफॉर्मेशन मेमोरेंडम. So like in CIRP process, here also you have to appoint 2 registered valuation per class to determine the fair value and the liquidation value of the corporate debtor. आप किसको अपॉइंट नहीं कर सकते? You cannot appoint a related party of the corporate debtor, an auditor of the corporate debtor at the time 5 years preceding this particular period, a partner or the director of the IPE of which the resolution professional is a partner or director, a relative of the resolution professional or of a partner or director of the insolvency profession. So these 4 people you cannot appoint. That is, आपका कोई related party है corporate debtor का, कोई ऑडिटर है जिसने 5 साल हुआ है अभी तक उस ऑडिटर का, या फिर तो पार्टनर एंड डायरेक्टर ऑफ आईपीई और related party of the RP or the partner and director of the IP. तो इसमें से किसी को भी आप अपॉइंट नहीं कर सकते. फेयर वैल्यू एंड लिक्विडेशन वैल्यू का मतलब क्या है? फेयर वैल्यू एंड लिक्विडेशन वैल्यू शैल बी डिटरमाइंड इन अकॉर्डेंस विद द फॉलोइंग मैनर. The registered valuer appointed under Regulation 38 shall submit to the resolution professional an estimate of the fair value and of the liquidation value computed in accordance with the internationally accepted valuation standard after physical verification of inventory and fixed asset of the corporate debtor. So this they have specifically said. Okay, so this will now become a part of your due diligence also. You cannot say that the client ने मेरे को सॉफ्ट कॉपी में सब कुछ दे दिया था, मैंने उसके बेसिस पे सब कर दिया. This will become, because it has been specifically mentioned in the regulation, this will become a part of your task that you have to perform for conducting the valuation. The average of the value determined by the 2 registered valuer shall be considered as the fair value or the liquidation value as the case may be. After the recipient of the resolution plan in accordance with the code and these regulations, the resolution professional shall provide the fair value and the liquidation value to every member of the committee in electronic form on receiving an undertaking from the member to the effect that such member shall maintain confidentiality of the fair value and the liquidation value and shall not use these values to cause any undue gain or undue losses to itself or any other purposes. So this is to the safeguard the interest of corporate debtor. The resolution professional and the registered valuer shall maintain confidentiality of the fair value and the liquidity value also. अब आते हैं what is all about the information memorandum. The preliminary information memorandum shall provide details regarding, क्या क्या डिटेल्स प्रोवाइड करेगा वो. It will provide the latest financial statement, audited financial statement of the clients for period of 2 years, the list of claims containing the names of the creditors, amount of the claims and the security interest if any in respect of such claims, particulars of the debt due from or to the corporate debtor with respect to the related party, details of the guarantees that have been given in relation to the debts of the corporate debtors by other people, specifying what is the guarantee in the is for the related party का कोई guarantee है तो अलग से आप देंगे. Name and addresses of the partners holding at least 1% stake in the corporate debtor with the size of the stake. Details of all the material litigations and ongoing investigations. The number of workers and the employees and the liabilities of the corporate debtors towards them. Other information which the corporate debtor or the resolution professional deems important for the committee. तो आप सोच सकते हैं आप इन अ वे कंपनी का पूरा बही खाता बना रहे हैं. यू आर मेकिंग अ कंप्लीट हिस्ट्री ऑफ द कंपनी एंड पुटिंग इट इन द information memorandum. So it consists of all the financial record, that is your annual financial statements, your audited financial statement for 2 years, list of creditors, your list of guarantees. You will have to give list of creditors and guarantees specifying the related parties also. You will have to give the any litigations which are open and any other information which you feel is important. The resolution professional shall finalize the information memorandum with the details under sub-regulation 2 and segment the members of the committee within 14 days of the pre-package insolvency commencement date. मतलब ये within 14 days आपको filing करनी है इसकी. Okay, the number of committees may request the resolution professional or the committee or corporate debtor for further information of the nature prescribed in this regulation, and the resolution professional or the corporate debtor, as the case may be, shall provide such information to all the members within reasonable time if such information is bearing on resolution plan. Okay, so अगर इसमें कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन इसको छोड़ के भी चाहिए होगी तो वो इंफॉर्मेशन आपका रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल है वो देगा. सो हमने देखा कि आपका जो ये है आरवी इज टू बी अपॉइंटेड विद इन हाउ मेनी डेज, within 3 days. RV is to be appointed within 3 days and information memorandum has to be provided within kitna days? Within 14 days. So these are the two important definitions. Section 41 आता है preferential and other transactions. On or before 30th day, on or before 30th day of pre-pack insolvency commencement date, the resolution professional shall form an opinion whether corporate debtor has been subject to any of the transaction covered under 43, 45, 50 and 66. तो ये चारों अपने PUEF transactions है. Where the resolution professional is of the opinion that the corporate debtor has been subject to any transaction covered under 43, 45, 50 and 56, he shall make an determination between 45 days. सो 30th डे तक उसको सोच लेना है, समझ लेना है, मान लेना है कि भाई कुछ तो है. He has to form एंड मतलब उसको वहां पे एक ओपिनियन बनाना है 30 डेज में एंड विद इन 45 डेज में ही हैज टू मेक अ डिटर्मिनेशन कि अगर ऐसा कुछ है तो क्या अमाउंट हो सकता है. Where रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल मेक्स अ डिटर्मिनेशन अंडर सब रेगुलेशन 2, he shall apply to the AA for the appropriate relief within the 60 days of CIRP. तो यहाँ पे ये 3 डेट आपको याद रखनी है. 30 डेज में ओपिनियन बनाना है, 45 डेज में डिटरमाइन करना है एंड विद इन 60 डेज आपको एडजुडिकेटिंग अथॉरिटी के पास जाकर पूछना है कि भाई अब मेरे को इसमें क्या करना है और क्या रिलीफ मिल सकता है. Now comes the most interesting and the most important part of this particular chapter, that is chapter 9, resolution plan. And I feel this will help all the members and the students who are going to appear in the exams also to solve lot of case studies, because ये एक ideology देता है कि IBBI सोचता कैसे. For the purpose of consideration of resolution plan, basis of evaluation includes the parameters to be applied and the manner of applying such parameters as approved by committee. For evaluating the resolution plan to assign a score to the plan and disclose in the invitation of the plan. तो यहाँ क्या बोल रहा है, आपको एक ऐसा मैकेनिज्म डिजाइन करना पड़ेगा जिसके द्वारा आप स्कोर करोगे, the mechanism by which you will calculate the score, and you will have to give this mechanism upfront in the invitation also. So basis of evaluation has to be given in the invitation itself. तो कैसे हो सकता है, यहाँ पे दो एग्जांपल दिए हुए हैं, लेट्स गो थ्रू देम, दे आर वेरी गुड टू रीड. द कमिटी में आइडेंटिफाई 3 पैरामीटर्स नेमली एक्स वाई जेड. पैरामीटर्स का मतलब क्या हुआ, ऐसी 3 वैल्यू ड्राइवर्स जो कमिटी को लगती है आर इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर देम टू एनालाइज और इवेल्युएट अ प्लान. कुछ भी हो सकता है वो 3 वैल्यू ड्राइवर्स फॉर इवेल्युएशन ऑफ द रेजोल्यूशन प्लान. It may apply parameters in form of a formula, namely 1.5x, 2y and 2.5z. मतलब वो क्या कर रहा है, पहले उसने पैरामीटर्स आइडेंटिफाई किए x, y, z. It parameters can be like what would be the mechanism of repayment, what would be the level of funding needed, what would be the level of management team that is needed. Some ऐसे कुछ 3 पैरामीटर्स डाल सकते हैं, एंड आप उन 3 पैरामीटर को एक मल्टीप्लायर से अटैच कर दोगे, लाइक 1.5, 2, 2.5. दिस इज वेरी सब्जेक्टिव, दिस इज कंप्लीटली कॉल ऑफ द आपका कमिटी. अगर फिर सोचिए आपने जो पैरामीटर्स दिए उसका रैंकिंग जब आप करते हैं तो x को मिला 20, y को मिला 25 एंड z को मिला 30. तो इन दैट केस योर टोटल स्कोर विल बी 1.5 into 20 plus 2 into 25 plus 2.5 into 30. So this will be totaling up to 155 shall be the score for that resolution plan. So वैसे करके अगर आपके पास 5 resolution plan आए हैं तो आप ऐसे करके स्कोर देंगे, एंड आउट ऑफ दैट फिर जिसमें सिग्निफिकेंट डिफरेंस होगा उसको आप लेकर सिलेक्ट करोगे. देयर इज अनदर वे ऑफ डूइंग इट, दिस इज अ कंडीशनल वे. ओके, आप इसमें क्या बोलते हो कि एक्स वाई जेड में से एक का तो मिनिमम स्कोर इतना होना ही चाहिए. मतलब कि मेरा एक्स वाई जेड 3 पैरामीटर्स है, उसमें से आई से कि अगर एक्स का स्कोर इज लेस देन 20 देन आई विल रिजेक्ट द प्लान अप फ्रंट. सो व्हाट विल हैपन, अगर x का स्कोर इज अबाउट 20 देन ओनली द प्लान विल गो फॉर कंपैरिजन. तो प्लान कंपैरिजन में कैसे जाएगा, y और z का जो कॉम्बिनेशन बनेगा स्कोर का, उससे प्लान आपका कॉम्बिनेशन में जाएगा. तो देखिए ये एग्जांपल सेम मेरा ऊपर वाला एग्जांपल में कंटिन्यू करता हूं कि x 20 है, y 25 है और z 30 है. So now it is eligible because I have put a criteria that eligibility will be only if x is more than 20. अगर x 10 होता तो पूरा का पूरा प्लान फेल हो जाता, वो प्लान आगे नहीं बढ़ता. But because it is 20, so plan will go ahead. So your value will be 2 into 25 plus 2.5 into 30. So that shall be the value of the plan. So आपका वैल्यू वो होगा प्लान के लिए, that will be equals to 125. So इस तरह से आपको डिसीजन मेकिंग करना है. ओके, आप जब दो प्लान को कंपेयर कर रहे हो तो दैट हैज टू बी अ सिग्निफिकेंटली बेटर फ्रॉम ईच अदर. ओके, अब ये सिग्निफिकेंटली बेटर क्या होता है वो भी कमिटी को डिसाइड करना है. व्हाट डू दे मीन बाय सिग्निफिकेंटली बेटर. सो दे कैन डिसाइडेड बाय अगेन 2 मैकेनिज्म्स. कि एक हो सकता है डिफरेंस ऑफ काउंट. से फॉर एग्जांपल इट सेज कि अगर प्लान ए का आया 100 एंड प्लान बी का आया 110, सो अगर डिफरेंस बिटवीन ए एंड बी इज मोर देन 5, is greater than 5, then it is significantly better. तो प्लान बी विल बी सिलेक्टेड. अगर प्लान ए 100 होता एंड प्लान बी 104 होता तो इन दैट केस प्लान बी विल नॉट बी सिलेक्टेड बिकॉज इट इज नॉट सिग्निफिकेंटली बेटर देन द प्लान ए. देन प्लान ए शैल गो अहेड. प्लान ए इज जनरली कंसिडर्ड एज द बेस प्लान जो आपका कॉर्पोरेट डेटा सबमिट करने वाला है. अनदर एग्जाम्पल कैन बी कि आप इंस्टेड ऑफ पुटिंग एज 5 पॉइंट्स यू कैन से 5%. से फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपका ए है 100 पे, बी है आपका 107 पे, एंड यू से कि अगर सिग्निफिकेंट बेटर इज 5%. सो ए का परसेंटेज देखेंगे 5% तो कितना होना चाहिए 105. अगर इसका स्कोर 105 से बेटर है तो यू विल सिलेक्ट दिस. अगर इसका स्कोर 105 से कम है तो यू विल रिजेक्ट द बी एंड सिलेक्ट ए. सो दिस इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंटली बेटर का कॉन्सेप्ट यहाँ पे ये दिया हुआ है. थर्ड कॉन्सेप्ट यहाँ पे आता है, वो आता है थिक साइज. थिक साइज का मतलब क्या होता है, मीन्स द मिनिमम इंप्रूवमेंट ओवर अनदर रेजोल्यूशन प्लान इन टर्म्स ऑफ द स्कोर एज अप्रूव्ड बाय द क्रेडिटर्स कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स एंड डिस्क्लोज्ड इन द इन्विटेशन ऑफ रेजोल्यूशन प्लान. सो इसका मतलब क्या होता है कि आपके पास ए और बी प्लान दो आए. ओके, आप लोगों को कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स को दोनों पसंद नहीं आए तो वो क्या करेगा, वो बोलेगा आप लोग अपना प्लान रिवाइज करके आइए, ब्रिंग अ रिवाइज प्लान टू मी. सो व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ रिवाइज. रिवाइज का डेफिनेशन इज कि आपका पहले का जो स्कोर आया था वर्सेस अब जो स्कोर आएगा उसका जो डिफरेंशिएशन होता है दैट इज कॉल्ड एज थिक साइज. सो से फॉर एग्जांपल योर स्कोर was 100 in the first time, and now you have submitted a new plan and your score is, say for example, 103, and the thick size of the company is 5. So company will only accept your plan अगर आपका score was 105. अगर आपका नया score is 103, then your plan will not be considered. So your score must be minimum 105 to be considered again. So that is the betterment expected out of the new plan what you have submitted. दिस कैन बी ऑल्सो इन फॉर्म ऑफ परसेंटेज, जैसे 5 की जगह वो 5% भी हो सकता है. ईदर ऑफ देम कैन बी कंसिडर. सो इट कैन बी न्यूमेरिकल फिगर or count figure, or it can be percentage also. On the basis of evaluation, the resolution plan A and B has a score of 105 and 108 respectively. The resolution applicant of A may wish to improve over B. It must improve A such that the score of A exceeds B at least by the thick size. मतलब आपका B से जो score exceed होगा वो thick size से exceed होगा. If the thick size is 5, the resolution applicant of A must improve A such that the score is at least 108 plus 5, that is 113. So there are two ways to look at the thick size. One is what I explained previously, and another way is if you are comparing two plans A and B. A का आया था 105, B का आया था 108. A thinks कि he can improve. So if he thinks he can improve, then he cannot just improve saying कि मेरा 110 आ जाएगा तो आप मेरे को सिलेक्ट कर लो. नहीं, उसको क्या इंप्रूव करना पड़ेगा, उसको थिक साइज से इंप्रूव करना पड़ेगा. दैट इज he will have to improve over and above B plan by the thick size. That is 108 plus 5 आना चाहिए उसका, तब जाकर उसका प्लान एक्सेप्ट होगा. अगर वो इंप्रूव होकर 110 आ जाता है तो वो एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है. इन्विटेशन ऑफ रेजोल्यूशन प्लान. सो होपफुली दिस लुक्स वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, करेक्ट. ये आपको बहुत सारी केस स्टडी सॉल्व करने में भी हेल्प करेगा. एंड आई रियली फाउंड इट वेरी वेरी एंटरटेनिंग व्हेन आई वाज रीडिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर प्लान्स. So you guys can also go through it and create multiple logics out of it. And these are generally illustrations given by the board. You can have your own versions of them also. Like I have created this version as my own version. Okay, ये मेरे को लगता है ऐसा भी एक कोई तरीका हो सकता है. Invitation of resolution plan. For the purpose of subsection 5 of subsection 54K, the resolution professional shall publish brief particulars of the invitation of the resolution plan in Form 11 not later than 21 days from pre-pack commencement date. So आपको 21 दिन के अंदर P11 में इन्विटेशन प्लान देना है. इन्विटेशन विल कहाँ पब्लिश होगा? वेबसाइट ऑफ द कॉर्पोरेटर, वेबसाइट ऑफ द बोर्ड, and in any other manner as may be decided by the committee. आपका कमिटी और कैसे डिसाइड कर सकता है आप लोग देख सकते हो. फॉर्म P11 shall consist, state where the invitation of the resolution plan can be downloaded or obtained from, provide the last date of submission of the resolution plan which shall not be less than 15 days from the date of issue of invitation of the resolution plan under the sub regulation 2. The invitation of resolution plan shall detail the steps in the process and the manner of the purpose of such interaction between the resolution professional and the resolution applicant along with the correspondence timeline. मतलब किस तरह से RP resolution professional and the resolution applicant shall communicate with each other, वो भी उसमें मेंशन किया रहेगा. It shall include बेसिस ऑफ इवेल्युएशन, जो हमने सबसे पहला पॉइंट डिस्कस किया था. द बेसिस फॉर कंसिडरिंग सिग्निफिकेंट बेटर, जो हमने सेकेंड इलस्ट्रेशन डिस्कस किया था. द थिक साइज, जो हमने थर्ड इलस्ट्रेशन डिस्कस किया था. एंड द मैनर ऑफ इंप्रूविंग द प्लान, कि आप अपना प्लान किस तरह से इंप्रूव कर सकते हो. सो आपको वो सारी इंफॉर्मेशन आपके प्लान में दी रहेगी. यहाँ पे आपके क्या क्या टाइमलाइंस आपको याद रखने हैं. Your P11 has to be submitted within the 21 days of the pre-pack insolvency commencement date. Not required any non-refundable deposit for submission of or along with resolution plan. Okay? अगर आपका कोई भी non-refundable deposit का है तो वो भी आप यहाँ पे मेंशन करेंगे. Not require any non-refundable deposit of for submission of or along with the resolution plan. The resolution professional shall require the resolution applicant in the case of the resolution plan is approved under subsection 13 of section 54K to provide the performance security within the time stipulated therein, and such performance security shall stand forfeited if the resolution applicant of such plan after approval of adjudicating authority fails to implement such of द प्लान। मतलब आपका 54K में अप्रूवल आ गया तो आपका आरए को जो भी सिक्योरिटीज प्लेस करनी है ही विल हैव टू प्लेस द सिक्योरिटीज। अगर बाय एनी चांस आफ्टर प्लेसिंग द सिक्योरिटी एंड अप्रूवल ऑफ द प्लान ही फेल्स टू इम्प्लीमेंट द प्लान, तो आपका जो सिक्योरिटी उसने रखी है वो आप फोरफिट कर सकते हो। एज अ कंपनी यू कैन फोरफिट दैट, एज अ आईपी यू कैन फोरफिट दैट। एक्सप्लेनेशन क्या क्या दी हुए है, फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ दिस सब रेगुलेशन performance security shall mean such security nature, value, duration and source as may be specified in the invitation for resolution plan with approval of committee। तो ये जो होगा कि क्या सिक्योरिटी होनी चाहिए, that should be also plan of your invitation and this should also be approved by the committee of creditors। The performance security shall be specified in absolute terms such as guarantee from a bank for rupees X for Y years or in relation to one or more variable such as the terms of resolution plan amount may be। जो भी आपका होगा यू विल हैव टू स्पेसिफाइड क्लियरली कि कितना रुपया का चाहिए, कितना साल के लिए चाहिए, या अगर और कुछ वेरिएबल भी है यू शुड स्पेसिफाइड करेक्टली। अब आते हैं आपका रेजोल्यूशन प्लान क्या है। अ रेजोल्यूशन प्लान शैल प्रोवाइड फॉर द मेजर्स फॉर एनी ऑफ नेसेसरी फॉर द मैक्सिमाइजेशन ऑफ द वैल्यू ऑफ द एसेट। मतलब आपका रेजोल्यूशन प्लान का अंततः गोल क्या है, इट इज टू मैक्सिमाइज द वैल्यू ऑफ द एसेट। सो उसमें क्या क्या होना चाहिए, इट शुड टॉक अबाउट ट्रांसफर ऑफ ऑल और पार्ट ऑफ द एसेट ऑफ द कॉर्पोरेट डेटर टू वन और मोर पर्सन, sale of all or part of the asset whether subject to security interest or not, restructuring of the corporate debtor by way of merger, amalgamation, demerger, substantial acquisition of share of corporate debtor, cancellation or delisting of the shares of corporate debtor if applicable, satisfaction of modification of security interest, carving or waiving out of the breach of the terms of the debts due from the corporate debtors, reduction in the amount of payable to the creditors, extension of maturity date or a charge of change in interest rate or other terms of the debt due to the due from the corporate debtor, amendment of the constitution document that is MOA and AOA, issuance of the security of the corporate debtors for cash, property, securities or in exchange of claims or the interest of the purpose necessary, change in the portfolio of goods and services produced or rendered by the corporate debtors, obtain the necessary approvals from the central government or the state governments whatever are needed। So your resolution plan should talk about कि आप अब इस कंपनी की मैक्सिमाइज कैसे करोगे वैल्यू, एंड आगे जाकर आप इस कंपनी को कैसे बेहतर तरीके से चलाओगे। सो उसके लिए आपको जो भी करना हो, अगर आपको कोई मर्जर एक्विजिशन करना है, कोई हाइव ऑफ करना है, कोई वेवर्स लेने हैं फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर से, इंटरेस्ट रेट में कोई चेंज करवाना है, या फिर तो कोई मॉनिटोरियम लगवाना है आपके फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर के द्वारा कि आप एक साल बाद पेमेंट करेंगे, आपको अपनी गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज में कोई चेंज करने हैं, उसको रिलेटेड कोई भी नेसेसरी रेगुलेटरी अप्रूवल्स लेने हैं, तो वो सब की डिटेल्स आप अपने रेजोल्यूशन प्लान में डालेंगे। मैंडेटरी कंसेंट ऑफ रेजोल्यूशन प्लान। अ रेजोल्यूशन प्लान शैल इंक्लूड an affidavit that provides applicant is eligible to submit the resolution plan for resolution of the corporate debtor under the code। So 29A में हमने पढ़ा था that you have to give a affidavit, nobody is going to verify कि आप 29A में eligible हो कि नहीं हो, the resolution applicant has to give a declaration that he is eligible। So affidavit देना है तो आप वो दोगे। A statement giving the details of the resolution applicant that any or its related party has failed to implement or contribute to the failure implemented of any resolution plan approved by adjudicating authority at any time past। अगर आपका कोई भी रिलेटिव या किसी का ऐसा प्लान पहले फेल हो गया है तो उसके लिए भी आपको एक स्टेटमेंट देनी पड़ेगी। एंड undertaking that every information and the record provided in connection with or in resolution plan is true and correct and discovery of the false information and record at any time will render the resolution applicant ineligible to participate in any resolution process under the code. So अगर आपने कुछ गलत इंफॉर्मेशन दी है तो आप इसमें तो इनएलिजिबल हो ही जाओगे, फ्यूचर में भी कोई और रेजोल्यूशन प्रोसेस में पार्ट नहीं ले पाओगे. The resolution plan shall provide for the terms and the plans and its implementation schedule, the management and control of the business of the corporate debtor during the tenure, adequate means of supervising the plan. The resolution plan shall demonstrate that it addresses the causes of default, the feasibility and viability of the plan. It has provision for the effective implementation. It has provision for approval required for the timelines of the same, and the resolution applicant has the capability of implementing. So आपको क्या क्या देना है, आपका प्लान शुड बी गुड इनफ सेइंग कि आपका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन शेड्यूल क्या होगा, आपका कंट्रोल मैनेजमेंट का कंट्रोल उस पर्टिकुलर टाइम में किसके हाथ में होगा और किस तरह से वो होगा, वेदर यू हैव एडिक्वेट मीन्स ऑफ इम्प्लीमेंटिंग इट और नॉट. ऑल्सो यू हैव टू डेमोन्स्ट्रेट वेदर, आपको पहले डेमोन्स्ट्रेट करना पड़ेगा कि कंपनी इस स्थिति में पहुंची क्यों, व्हाट वाज द कॉज ऑफ डिफॉल्ट, व्हाट आर द फिजिबिलिटी एंड विजिबिलिटी, आपको इसके लिए क्या क्या फिजिबल ऑप्शंस लग रहे हैं और उसकी विजिबिलिटी क्या क्या है, व्हाट आर द प्रोविजंस फॉर इफेक्टिव इंप्लीमेंटेशन, आप इसको किस तरह से इफेक्टिवली इंप्लीमेंट करेंगे, इसके टाइमलाइंस क्या होंगे, अप्रूवल्स के एक्सेट्रा, एंड वेदर आर यू इवन केपेबल ऑफ इंप्लीमेंटिंग और नॉट, यू विल हैव टू डेमोन्स्ट्रेट दैट. मतलब अगर आपको चलाने के लिए फॉर एग्जांपल बीच में 10 करोड़ रुपए चाहिए, तो वेदर आर यू एलिजिबल और आर यू केपेबल ऑफ रेजिंग सच इंटरिम फाइनेंस और नॉट, दैट आल्सो हैज टू बी डेमोन्स्ट्रेटेड. The resolution plan shall include a statement of how it has dealt with the interest of all the stakeholders, including the financial and operational creditors of the company. The amount payable under the resolution plan to the operational creditor shall be paid in priority over the financial creditors, and the financial creditors who have right to vote under subsection 2 of section 21 and did not vote in favor of resolution plan shall be paid in priority over the financial creditors voted in favor of plan. So यहाँ पे क्या बोल रहा है कि आपका जो प्लान है उसमें ये क्लियर होना चाहिए कि पहले आपके ऑपरेशनल क्रेडिटर्स को पेमेंट होगा, सेकेंडली फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स में भी दो पार्ट बनेंगे, एक जिन्होंने फेवर में वोट नहीं किया और एक जिन्होंने फेवर में वोट किया है. So your first will be operational creditors, second will be the people who have not voted in favor of the plan, and last will be the people who have voted in favor of the plan. Section 46 आते हैं, 3-4 सेक्शन बचे हैं, we will finish in next 10 minutes. Submission of resolution plan. The resolution applicant shall submit the resolution plan or plans prepared in accordance with the code and these regulations to the resolution professional through electronic means with the time given for invitation for resolution plan. The resolution plan which does not comply with the provision of sub-resolution 1 shall be rejected. So आपके जो भी इवेल्युएशन क्राइटेरियाज थे और इसके ऊपर में जो ये सारे क्राइटेरियाज आपने अभी पढ़े थे कि व्हाट शुड इट डेमोन्स्ट्रेट, व्हाट शुड इट प्रोवाइड फॉर, अगर ये सारे क्राइटेरियाज फुलफिल नहीं होते हैं तो आपका रेजोल्यूशन प्लान रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा. इवेल्युएशन ऑफ रेजोल्यूशन प्लान कैसे होगा, तो जो प्लान 46 सेक्शन में सिलेक्ट हुआ है वो उसको आप जो आपने इवेल्युएशन मैट्रिक्स बनाया था जो हमने डिस्कस किए थे वेरियस इलस्ट्रेशंस, उसके बेसिस पे आप उसको इवेल्युएट करोगे. द रेजोल्यूशन प्लान गेट्स हाईएस्ट स्कोर अंडर द सब रेगुलेशन 1 शैल बी सिलेक्टेड फॉर कंपटीशन विद द बेस रेजोल्यूशन प्लान. बेस रेजोल्यूशन प्लान कौन सा है, जो आपके कॉर्पोरेट डेटर ने डाला हुआ था, तो आपने वेरियस लोगों से प्लान्स मंगवाए, उनका प्लान जो होगा वो ABC प्लान जो होंगे उसको आप कॉम्पीट करोगे, उसका आप कंपेरेटिव बनाओगे कि वो जो हमने इलस्ट्रेशन 1 2 3 4 देखे उसके बेसिस पे आप उसको स्कोर दोगे. आपका उसमें से जो बेस्ट प्लान था आप उसको उठाओगे और उसको फिर आप कंपेयर करोगे आपके बेस प्लान के साथ. बेस प्लान के साथ भी कंपेयर आप ऐसा कोई इलस्ट्रेटिव एग्जांपल बना के कर सकते हो, ऐसा कोई मैट्रिक्स बना के यू विल हैव टू डू द कंपैरिजन. अप्रूवल ऑफ द रेजोल्यूशन प्लान. The resolution plan selected under Regulation 47 shall be considered by the Committee of Creditor Approval if it is significantly better than the base plan. अब significantly better का definition क्या होगा, आपने वहां पे हमने illustration में देखा था 5 basis point से better हो सकता है या 5% से भी better हो सकता है, वो आपकी Committee of Creditor has to define what is significantly better. When no resolution plan is received under 46, which complies with the requirement of the code and this regulation, the base resolution plan may be considered by the committee of creditors for approval. मतलब आपने फ्लोट किया कि आप लोग अपने प्लान सबमिट कीजिए रेजोल्यूशन एप्लीकेंट्स को, उन लोगों ने सबमिट किए या सबमिट नहीं किए, दो सिचुएशन हो सकती है. अगर सबमिट किए और दे डू नॉट पास द बेसिक क्राइटेरियाज ऑफ अ प्रॉपर रेजोल्यूशन प्लान, तो वो सारे रिजेक्ट हो जाएंगे. और अगर उन्होंने सबमिट नहीं किए तो आपके पास एज इट इज कोई प्लान नहीं है. तो अगर सारे प्लान रिजेक्ट हो गए और आपके पास कोई प्लान नहीं है, तो जो बेस रेजोल्यूशन प्लान था आपका, दैट कैन बी कंसिडर्ड फॉर अप्रूवल बाय कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स. In the cases not covered under 1 and 2, the resolution professional shall disclose the score of the resolution plan selected under 46 and the base plan submitted for the resolution plan and invite them for improvement their resolution plans in accordance with regulation 4. मतलब अगर आप अप्रूवल नहीं ला पा रहे हो या फिर तो आपका सिलेक्शन नहीं हो पा रहा कोई भी कारण से, दैट इज 1 एंड 2 में आपका नहीं हो पा रहा. 1 क्या था, रेजोल्यूशन सिलेक्टेड बाय 47 शैल बी कंसिडर्ड बाय द कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स. 2 क्या था, अगर फॉर ए नहीं होता, 1 नहीं होता, तो आप आपका जो बेस प्लान है वो सिलेक्ट कर लोगे. इन केस अगर आपका इन दोनों में से कोई भी क्राइटेरिया में कवर्ड नहीं हो रहा है, तो यू विल गिव अ अपॉर्चुनिटी टू द रेजोल्यूशन प्लान्स टू इम्प्रूव द प्लान. इम्प्रूव करने का क्या लॉजिक था, हमने देखा था वो थिक साइज वाला लॉजिक जो हमने देखा था, उस लॉजिक के ऊपर आप उसको इम्प्रूव करने के लिए दोगे. आप इम्प्रूव करने के लिए दोगे तो द सबमिटर ऑफ द रेजोल्यूशन प्लान which has a lower score shall have a option to improve the resolution plan. So मतलब आपके पास दो प्लान थे ए और बी. अगर बी का स्कोर कम, ए का स्कोर कम था, तो ए हैज अ ऑप्शन टू गिव अ बेटर प्लान. ओके, अगर बाद में ए और बी का ए बेटर हो जाता है तो बी गेट्स अ अपॉर्चुनिटी टू गिव अ बेटर प्लान. सो बेटर प्लान का ऑप्शन आपको कैसे सिलेक्ट करना है, बेसिस द थिक साइज. आपका जो थिक साइज आपने डिसाइड किया था कि वो बी के प्लान से कितना बेहतर होना चाहिए, उस बेसिस पे आपको डिसाइड करना है. बट ये प्रोसेस हैज टू बी कंप्लीटेड विद इन द 48 आवर्स. ओके, इसके लिए टाइम दिया हुआ है. द प्रोसेस फॉर इंप्रूवमेंट शैल कंटिन्यू टिल ईदर ऑफ द सबमिटेड प्लान फेल्स टू यूज द ऑप्शन within the time specified for invitation of the resolution plan. So this will keep happening, A versus B, B versus A will keep happening till the stipulated time is over. Under the provision, the stipulated time for 3 and 4 has been given a time window of 48 hours. तो ये कंपटीशन का 48 आवर्स का टाइम है. सो इट्स सिंपल यार, इन अ वे अगर आप सोचो सिंपल तरीके से, तो ये एक बिडिंग प्रोसेस है. ओके, इसमें एक बिडिंग प्रोसेस डिफाइंड है कि जहां पे ए और बी ने पहले अप्लाई किया, ए का प्लान उतना बेहतर नहीं था, तो उसने बोला कि मैं इंप्रूवमेंट दिखाऊंगा. वो जो इंप्रूवमेंट दिखाएगा वो बी से कुछ बेसिस पॉइंट ऊपर होगा, जिसको हम लोग थिक साइज बोलते हैं. ओके, आफ्टर दैट बी विल अगेन गेट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू शो द इंप्रूवमेंट ओवर ए, एंड दैट हैज टू बी ऑल्सो बेटर देन द थिक साइज ऑफ द opportunity, and this will continue for a period of window given as 48 hours. The resolution plan having the higher score on competition of processes of improvement under sub-regulation 4 shall be considered by committee of credit for approval. So finally जो best plan है वो approve हो जाएगा. एप्लीकेशन टू एडजुडिकेटिंग अथॉरिटी, आपके कमिटी ने जो प्लान अप्रूव किया है, आप उसको P12 करके एक फॉर्म है उसमें डाल के AA के पास डालोगे. The resolution professional shall forthwith send a copy of the order of the adjudicating authority approving or rejecting the resolution plan to the participant and the resolution applicant. So AA has an final power to reject the plan also. So आपकी कमिटी ने अप्रूव कर दिया, but AA has power to reject. The resolution professional shall within 7 days of the order of adjudicating authority approving a resolution plan intimate each claimant the principle or the formula as the case may be for payment of the debt. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, आपका जो रेजोल्यूशन प्लान बना था उसमें एक फॉर्मूला बना होगा, एक तरीका बना होगा, एक मैकेनिज्म बना होगा फॉर पेमेंट ऑफ द डेट. So once the plan is approved within 7 days, that has to be communicated to the all the creditors. When no resolution plan is approved by the committee of creditors, or whether the committee has approved the termination process, the resolution professional shall file an application in form P13 to the adjudicating authority for termination of the process. ओके, अगर आपका प्लान रिजेक्ट हो गया या फिर तो कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर ने टर्मिनेट करने का निश्चय ले लिया है, तब आप P13 के द्वारा आप अपना टर्मिनेशन के लिए एप्लीकेशन डाल दोगे. चैप्टर नंबर 10 इज द लास्ट चैप्टर. इसमें क्या है, मैनेजमेंट ऑफ द अफेयर ऑफ द कॉर्पोरेट डेटर, मैनेजमेंट ड्यूरिंग दिस प्रोसेस, इस प्रोसेस के दौरान किस तरह से मैनेजमेंट होगी। द कॉर्पोरेट डेटर शेल नॉट मैनेज द अफेयर ऑफ द कॉर्पोरेट डेटर इन अ मैनर प्रीजुडिशियल टू द कॉर्पोरेट creditors of the corporate debtor or in a fraudulent manner. The corporate debtor shall not undertake any of the following action without obtaining the approval of committee, namely transaction above a threshold as decided by the committee and any other matter as decided by committee not covered under section 28. सो यहाँ पे क्लियरली बोल रहा है कि आपका जो कॉर्पोरेट डेटर होता है वो क्रेडिटर्स के अगेंस्ट में कोई एक्शन नहीं ले सकता, ऐसा कोई काम नहीं कर सकता जिससे क्रेडिटर्स का इंटरेस्ट खराब हो, या फिर तो ऐसा कोई फ्रॉडुलेंट काम नहीं कर सकता। उसको कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स से अप्रूवल लेना पड़ेगा फॉर एनी ट्रांजेक्शन विच इज बियॉन्ड अ थ्रेशोल्ड विच इज डिसाइडेड बाय कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स और एनी सच ट्रांजेक्शन विच इज नॉट मेंशन्ड इन सेक्शन 28। अगर वैसा कोई है जहां पे कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स ने बोला है स्पेसिफिकली कि मेरे से अप्रूवल लीजिए आप, तो वहां पे उसको अप्रूवल लेना पड़ेगा। द कॉर्पोरेट डेटर इन कंसिलेशन विद द रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल shall prepare a monthly report and forward it to the member of committee with the following details: details of legal proceedings having material impact on the business, details of the key contracts executed, any other relevant information which may be necessary. So every now and then every time period जो decide होगा committee के द्वारा, उस टाइम पीरियड में आपका कॉर्पोरेट डेटर इन कंसल्टेशन विद द रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल शैल प्रिपेयर अ मंथली रिपोर्ट। सो इट इज अ मंथली रिपोर्ट, सॉरी इट इज नॉट अ टाइम बाउंड रिपोर्ट, इट्स अ मंथली रिपोर्ट। कि वो रिपोर्ट में क्या होगा, ऑल द लीगल प्रोसीडिंग्स जो है उसमें कोई डेवलपमेंट हुई है, ऐसा कोई की कॉन्ट्रैक्ट आपने किया है, और एनी अदर रिलेवेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन दैट यू फील इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट। एंड पॉइंट नंबर 4 क्या है इसका 50 का, द रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल में call for the information related to the operational for the creditors including the payment made, visit the premises, inspect the assets, call for the information related to the compliance applicable to the corporate debtor and other statuses, ask for the details of the litigations, ask for the details फॉर असर्टिंग द कंडक्ट ऑफ द क्रेडिटर्स। मतलब उसको बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स के लिए वो मांग सकता है, वो कोई पेमेंट हुई है उसके लिए मांग सकता है, वो इंस्पेक्शन के लिए मांग सकता है, कोई भी कंप्लाइंस हुए हैं नहीं हुए उसका चेकिंग कर सकता है, जो लिटिगेशन चल रहे हैं उसका चेकिंग कर सकता है, और वेदर द क्रेडिटर इज adhering to the compliances or not or adhering to the code of conduct or not, वो भी वो पूछ सकता है। Point number 51 is the last part, is a vesting of the management in the hand of resolution professional. So section 54J talks about ki in what scenario the resolution professional will take over the business of the or the management of the corporate debtor. It talks about it is simple, अगर corporate debtor यहाँ पे इन दोनों में से कोई भी क्राइटेरिया को, that is section 50 के क्राइटेरिया को वायलेट करता है, that is अगर वो कोई फ्रॉडुलेंट तरीके से बिजनेस कर रहा है, या फिर तो वो कोई ऐसा ट्रांजेक्शन एंटर कर रहा है जिसमें उसको पहले से परमिशन लेनी थी सीओसी से, अगर वो वैसे सब काम कर रहा है, वो उसका कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट गलत है, तब मैनेजमेंट विल वेस्ट इन द हैंड ऑफ द रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल, एंड उसके लिए उसको एप्लीकेशन डालनी पड़ेगी P14 में। तो इन टोटल देर आर 14 फॉर्म्स एज सच, मैंने स्टार्टिंग में भूल 12 फॉर्म्स बोला था, आई अपोलोजाइज फॉर दैट। इन टोटल देर आर 14 forms overall in this particular regulations. It is a wonderfully drafted resolution. Hopefully आप लोग को इसमें मजा आया होगा and you guys would have enjoyed this presentation. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. We will keep giving you such elaborated versions of discussions on IBC and RV related topics.